Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies.
Tape never lies.
Starts now.
You know what? It was an overthrow by Mitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Injured Bear on the field is Akeem Hicks.
Cousins loses the football. Strip sack and a takeaway.
Bears our life.
Who else but Khalil Mack?
Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Yo. Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Ran up with the true analysis you expect. Raw passion for the show. Bears fans get nothing less. Locked in with real emotion and passion for every play. Coach still gonna bring that range, but in with facts my shade. Post game show like nothing else you're gonna hear. Some can try to copy, but a bucket's not sincere. Delivering the truth on what just happened, to be clear. That's why we're on TV so you can see it, not just hear. Hey, yo, when draft Dr. Phil, you know it's always hit sticks. Splitting double T's like 96 Akeem Hicks. You can tell the shit matters. A bit love can be felt. Critical of Nagy cause the talent he's been dealt. As our life keeps growing, Shane's all knowing. Delivering the truth on how the QB's throwing. Dimes on time, just lacking fundamental. Whatever the case, we get hot like Cecil. Fiery discussion about what happened in the game. This ain't your daddy's postgame, so expect a fucking flame. Not for the average fan, all lost they can survive.
But don't you worry.
Bears Our Live.
Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with their boys draft talk and the smartest man alive.
the Red Legend,
Bears our life.
Dr. Phil
Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talk and the smartest man alive. Bears our life. Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after
The Tape Never Lies Network.
This is Bears Hour Live.
What's up, Bears fans? Bears drop another one, 26-23 overtime to the Saints. The same questions continue to plague this team week after week. We see errors on the coaching staff today. I think you have to hold a lot of the players accountable. I mean, the shit that Javon Wims pulled out there. I'm 44 years old, and it's one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen a Bears player do on the football field. No rhyme or reason for it. Totally cost your team. And then, excuse me, you're doubling down on it with stupidity by clapping and cheering. You see Tariq Cohen defending it on Twitter. It's a mentality with this team that starts right up at the top. You want to give your coach all the credit for being a great team leader? This is what you've made in this locker room. You're more concerned about petty bullshit like this than getting W's. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Coaching staff's got to be held accountable. Ryan Pace, you have to make moves, man. You have to make moves on the trade deadline. It's crazy. Javon Wims, get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous. Mental breakdown. This whole entire team should be disgraced. I don't want to hear we got to check the tape. I don't want to hear any of that. You had this game up 13-3. 13-3. And you pissed it away. You came out from half. You pissed it away even more. So we know how this is. We're essentially numb to this at this point as Chicago Bears football fans. But what we're going to do now, we're going to hand it over to the draft doc, and you guys can listen to the opening rant.
Turn it up a little, Claw, because I really can't hear. I feel like Nagy with Foles. He can't hear the plays coming in. It's almost like you have to get into a mental state to prepare yourself to what kind of potluck play calling coaching you're going to receive every time you watch this team play. I keep saying the team is a reflection of the head coach over and over and over again. We hear, see, hear, read. Just complete excuses over and over and over. And nobody picking up a brother and standing on the hill of responsibility and saying, it's on me! This is on me. Can't do that. Not here. You could piss the shit away. You could drop balls. You could run the wrong routes. You could drop back. You could throw it up into the air like a fucking grenade. Miss blocks. Miss assignments. You continue to fumble yourself in the national stage to the point where let's bring Trubisky in, let's bring Foles in, let's do this, let's do that. You know what the staple is? The head coach. We got a fucking gang fight out there with this football team. I don't care who did what. You handle that business in between the hashes when the whistle blows. That's when you handle business. To be that selfish, that complete ego trip. He ain't sticking up for his friend. He's losing the whole culture. Again, like I said on the Facebook, the BU philosophy doesn't fit or doesn't equate into football, in a team sport. You gotta be together. You gotta work together. You gotta understand the play call stuff, the gimmickry. You're in the red zone, you pull out your best red zone weapons and you run a fucking reverse to Anthony Miller. The gimmickry is not about power and we're gonna beat you by smashing you. It's about we're gonna beat you by being lucky. And guess what? Luck gets topped out, it gets tamped out, it gets smothered. It never puts you over the edge, it never puts you over the top. And that's unfortunate because Nagy called another shitty game. I don't give a fuck what anybody's gonna tell you. Not PFF, not whatever. 13-3, you're up. And you can't go to the things that you're being successful with. You can't go to the well. That's when a great coach does that. You do it until they fucking stop me. That's the attitude with your guys behind you that jump on you and love you and play for you and do everything in their power to win the game because they believe that you're gonna put them in the right fucking place to win every game. I would fucking go out there and coach this team 500 times better. This is a disgrace. A disgrace. Not knowing who to use, when to use them, gang fights, drop balls, manipulation. You got a kicker saving you. You got a defense holding your record to make you look like you're respectable. You're a fucking real estate agent that was an offensive coordinator because your buddies on the old white boy network gave you the fucking job. That's the truth. That's the truth. The good old network, good old boys. We're gonna make you a head coach. No, fuck that. It's a disgrace. You had an opportunity to win, and you pissed it away. This is the worst showcase. I don't care. It was a close game. That's what they're gonna say. For me, close is never good enough. It never wins. It's like calling Leno average. It's not what you succeed with. You succeed with passion, pride, integrity, and class. Everything that showcased the opposite out there. Your coach, your team became you. And it was ugly. And you know what? You still had an opportunity to win that game. And you couldn't figure it out. Dropping the ball, Miller and Graham. Are you kidding me? Dropping the ball. And that, Shane, is my rant. Jesus. I don't know how to take this guy. I get so fucking fired up, Shane. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, well, stay fired up and address Vanessa right here. We're crying for what? Because he's sticking up for being poked in the head.
Vanessa, let me tell you this right fucking now. You handle that business in the play. In the play. You don't take selfish approach and go out there, punch someone in the fucking face when they're not expecting it and think you're a big tough guy. You want a street fight? Stand head up and go blow for blow on the next play. Block him to the fucking sideline and say, we're going to fucking score and beat you. You're going to go out there and fucking blindside someone, think that's fucking tough? That's the pussification of America right there. That's what that is. That's what this whole fucking thing is. He should be cut. He should be cut from this team. Suspended for weeks. I don't even want to see him on the field. This is going to be a showcase of who this coach is right on this decision. I'll tell you right now, Vanessa, I'm not mad at you. You don't know. I know the game of football. I know the locker room. Everybody in there is pissed off with him because he said, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do me. I'm going to show 1, 2. Yeah, punch him again. Yeah. What? Come on. How could anybody stand up for that? No one can.
Yeah, and Phil, here's the thing. To double down on that, you saw Javon Wims go out there and clap, like you said, and then instantly this pops up on Twitter after the play. Juice is on it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, no. They're wrong. It just shows. That's the mentality of some of the... This goes back all the way to last year when they're doing this shit to Tariq Cohen. And if you go back and rewatch that game when Tariq Cohen got disrespected by them doing that to him, he finally fucking ran hard the next down. But it wasn't the time. I understand you wanting to defend your honor and shit like that. Wasn't the fucking time or the place. And then you doubled down on it for ridiculousness.
You do
crazy.
That's totally the Nagy thing. That's totally the Nagy thing. I don't give a shit who tries to fucking stand up for that. Every one of those players on the roster were hindered because of that one guy taking that into his hands and making it about him and not about the team. And then to celebrate, like Cherie is saying afterwards, are you kidding me? You just cost your team. You embarrassed yourself, your family, everything. You're getting thrown out of the game because you took it upon yourself to think that your little fucking blindside punch to a fucking helmet, guess what? Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. You look like the fool. You look like the fool. I can't wait to see how Nagy handles this. I guess my dad is texting. He wants to come on. Do you want to bring him on?
Absolutely.
I'm going to get him going and bring him on quick before the coach comes. But Shane, like, I don't mean to get upset at Vanessa because I'm not upset with you, Vanessa. But
no, it's nothing. None of it's personal. That's why I think I didn't see who it was. Somebody in there said that this didn't lose the game. We're not the focusing point on this. It's part of this entire thing that we do here. We're going to talk about things. If you don't think that was a humongous factor on an offensive team that's struggling for every fucking thing, and then you go to fucking 2nd and 20, yeah, it's a huge deal.
Dumb, Marcus. Come on the show, Marcus. You sound dumb. You're defending Wims. I want to know how you could defend that. How anybody could defend this. I'm better and bigger than everybody else on the team. I'm fucking jealous of Nagy. Come on, Alex, please. I'm jealous of Nagy. The reality is you're looking at a situation where somebody took it upon themselves to not only take actions of retaliation, but to basically throw the whole culture, really, of what this coach is on the front line. It really is that imperative.
Phil, we've been in locker rooms. We've been on fields. We've seen shit happen. Sometimes you lose your head, But then, like I said, the part that really fucking got me, I think Javon knew instantly how fucking dumb it was. And then he just starts fucking clapping like it's going to do anything. It just, to me, it shows what these guys are thinking about. Are they doing the right things? And they're obviously not. This offense sucks. Javon Wims was involved in the game to that point. You saw them using him early. And what did he do with it? He fucking blew it with selfishness.
Momentum. The momentum was on your side. You just got backed up 15 in an offense that's in this game. And fans are trying to defend this? Fans are trying to defend this. Are you fucking kidding me? It was an embarrassment. That's how you want your team to represent you? I have no problem going after somebody if they've taken a cheap shot.
Right here.
To do
Knife
it.
and open. Perfect. A great comment.
There you go.
We had Josh Woods. We talked about this the other night on Keeping It 100. We had Josh Woods on when we were talking to Steve Edwards. I brought this up again. I asked Josh who the leader on defense was. Without hesitation before I was even done with the sentence. Danny Trevathan is the leader, 100%. All right, Josh, let me flip it around. Who's the leader on offense, and what do we get?
Exactly.
You're in year 3 under this head coach, and you don't know who the leader of this offense is? Just like Steve Edwards said, that's a fucking big problem. Exactly. That's a Ryan Pace problem. That's a Matt Nagy problem where you have to get into the fucking office and figure that shit out. You don't even have an identity on offense. How are you supposed to have a leader of that offense? It's crazy.
The only one out there leading to me is Allen Robinson.
Yeah, number 12.
He went out there and he had to leave the whole area and talk to himself and say, what the fuck is going on?
We defend David Montgomery on this team more than fucking anybody, and he decided to leave yards on the fucking field today to talk shit. He dropped his fucking head down on a guy, and he wanted to fucking quickly turn around and talk to him. He was still in bounds.
Oh, yeah, that run.
It's terrible. What are you doing?
Terrible. I agree, Adam. Allen Robinson, to me, showed me that he's the glue that's keeping this together. The receiver taking it upon himself to do what he did, to me, is a showcase of a coach that is driving a boat without an udder. It's just going with the fucking current, and you're going down, and you're going to sink. You're going to hit a fucking rock, and you're going to get the boat sunk. Because, listen, close game. You can't be allowing that stuff to go down like that. I mean, I don't know how anybody could defend what Wims did. I'm actually surprised. I'm so surprised that we have people in there.
Well, I think that's just a mentality of they're trying to defend it. I mean, there's no defending it. I'm sorry.
There's no defending Nick Foles' shitty throws and decisions. There's no
falling
defending
off his back leg, not stepping up in the pocket.
Calls. But speaking of the coach, before we get to coach, we got our coach, my father, Coach Atoshin. What's up, Dad? You saw the game?
I was so depressed for you guys. I'm glad I'm not a Bears fan.
Oh, jeez.
I can't believe it. I don't see any rhythm. I don't see any rhyme or reason. You know, a lot of coaches like to have 15 plays that they go into. That'd be a change for him. Just do something different, for crying out loud. Just a disgrace. And that quarterback is not bad. He is so confused. That's what I see. You know what he's saying? I'm going to lose my life here. The hits that he takes are ridiculous. Those linemen are terrible. There is no justification. That's what I'm going to tell you. I looked at those guys. They don't hold anybody, but for 1,001, 1,002, he's sacked. I'm going to tell you that's exactly what happens. And you know something? Nobody can throw into that. That's why he's backpedaling. He's trying to get a play in, and it's not fair.
Well, what about the end of the game? You got the ball here, and you hit Anthony Miller across the middle in the fucking chest, in the hands. He drops it. Then you're highly paid Jimmy Graham. I've defended this motherfucker, and he comes back and he drops it right in his chest.
Yeah, that
And now
was
it's
the first
third
down.
and long, and you get sacked. You can't find anybody open, and that's your coach. That's your offense. Talk about that.
You know something? There's some great coaches out there, but every one of them shouldn't be calling plays. I got to tell you, there's just too much going on. Yeah, there really is. There's too much going on to be a head football coach in the NFL. There's people on the sideline look at that idiot that gets into a fight. I mean, that guy, you think you got a chance to be in first place tied with the Green Bay Packers, and these guys are playing like that? This guy, you think a selfish guy, he should be cut. Get rid of him. You don't need people like that.
Speak on that, Coach. How do you handle so he gets ejected from the game and he's doubling down and clapping on it as he's going off the field? What's the first thing you do when you address him after the game?
Well,
how do you handle it?
I think
hold on, we got
the
coach coming out.
What you just think about
hold that thought
in general.
Claude, make it big.
I did not see it. I totally missed it. I was looking down when I heard about it.
He's looking down. That's the problem. There it is, Coach.
Completely.
Yeah, he's looking at his card for the next play.
We've talked to him and told him that that's not how things go here. One of Javon's strengths is his character and who he is as a person, and he's since apologized, but you don't have that. There's no part of that in this game. Again, I still haven't seen it, but from what I heard, it's not good. So. That's not how we roll here, and we'll be talking to him.
Yeah.
JJ,
oh my, he didn't see it.
On that play, it took you from a second and sorry about that. On that play where Wims at the fight, it took you from a 2nd and 5 to a 2nd and 20. Nick got intercepted on that pass. How did that change your play call that you thought you were going to get when you're looking down at your sheet, thinking it was 2nd and 5? Then all of a sudden you got to go to 2nd and 20.
Yeah, it's brutal. You come out in the third quarter, and we've struggled all year long in the third quarter. And, JJ, I mean, you can totally understand the question you just asked. You go from 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 20. That's hard. That's hard. So what I don't like is you come out, it's a tie game, and you have an opportunity to do some things, and we go the other way. And then on top of that, we have that stuff that goes on. So I felt like it took the sting out, the fire for a little bit. We had to regroup. The defense, at least in that situation with the field position, was able to hold them and not let them score touchdowns. But we had to regroup offensively on the sideline and just let these guys know, like we're, let's go, get on track and get out of that. And that's kind of why we were with that.
Jason?
Matt, how long have you been thinking about or working on that kind of role for Mitch? And is that something you could expand in your offense going forward?
How was that even?
Yeah, important? We could. Mitch, a lot of credit to Mitch. He's done a really good job at in his role that he's in right now. And it's a weapon for us to be able to use his legs and then obviously be able to throw the ball as well. So, that's something that we're looking at, and every game could be a little bit different, but it's something that teams have to prepare for.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, whether it was the Wims fight or some drops or penalties, some more
team is a
confusion,
reflection of you, Coach.
sometimes getting plays in. I know I think at one point the helmet went out, but just in general, it seemed like discipline was maybe an issue throughout this game and some unforced errors. Do you agree with that? And can you pinpoint why that continues to be an issue?
Yes, good question.
No, you're exactly right. You're right. There is.
Can you say it's on me?
That's what bothers me, and that's what pisses me off. Is that there is that issue still going on. Excuse my French, but we're reading it from a wristband.
Pisses you off is not.
So I just I'm
waiting
with
for
that
it
right now. And it's
you can't do it.
It's getting you into a hole. It's called, and so that has to change.
Who changes it, Coach? You do.
Right. I mean, I can't sit here and say anything other than what you just said. When you have somebody throwing punches.
That's what it is. He's a weak guy.
He is a weak guy.
Right
exactly.
Can't make decisions
in the offense.
I
and
was
just trying
too
to
busy
keep
in my
going. Guys are
playbook.
fighting, they're sticking together.
I didn't even
But then
see
you
the
have that
fight.
happen.
What happened? How?
It
You're the
takes
head
away
coach.
everything
Oh
that
my
you work hard
God.
to get to.
I don't think
fight
anybody
for.
realizes.
Plus,
What
he's a
bothers me
liar.
is
That thing would go
we
up
got
on
a
the
lot
screen.
of good guys that are doing things
That's
the right
true,
way,
too.
and it takes it away.
Jeff Dickerson.
Yeah, Matt, to kind of follow up on that, how do you feel about the offense in general today? I mean, there were some really good moments. You had that 4-play, 80-yard
He
drive.
feels great. You got to review the tape on that.
Hold on. We'll have to see the tape.
At the end, they lead you guys back to force overtime. But how do you couple that with all the other issues you kind of just discussed? That stuff that seems like is kind of maybe holding you back sometimes offensively.
Sure. Yeah, I think when you look at the run game, and I thought it felt better today. It did feel better, and that team's pretty good against the run. It did feel better in the run game.
He sounds
so I
like
was
a
happy in that
third-grade
aspect.
teacher.
And we were able to have. I think we had a couple double-digit drives
forceful
where
in
we
his-
plays, 13-play drive, a
philosophy,
couple
you
other
wanna
ones, and
strength.
so the
You wanna show
rhythm of
strength
being
in
able to
yourself.
get in the
Strength
rhythm
in your
was good.
philosophy.
He doesn't have a
wanted
philosophy.
to, a
He's
couple
got
of
no
things
identity.
that's
That's
hard.
why he
And
keeps talking in
again,
circles
the
like
start of
this.
that third quarter, I didn't
just
like.
amazing.
Don't like.
I just felt bad. I felt
It's been a
bad.
theme. So
I
trust
realize
me,
you
we're
got
looking
some
at it.
receivers out, but those two receivers you
we've
had
done
in there are
different
pretty
things
good receivers. Number
how to
11,
adjust
number 12.
that, and it's
They're good
weird that it
receivers.
just keeps happening. So, but yeah, you're right. It's I did feel better about a lot of stuff, but none of that matters because you want to win.
Kevin Fishbane.
Matt, when you guys got the ball back in the third quarter, I think it was your third drive. You had the 3rd and 3. David came up short, and then Nick tried to call draw him off sides. For you as a head coach, what's going through your mind at that point? Your third possession, you talked about the struggles. I mean, how
I'm with Gina here.
did you just want to stay out there?
I'm
just
embarrassed
try to
too,
sustain
Gina.
the drive at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we weren't going to go for it there on 4th down. We're just like Sean did to us at the end, trying to get us to jump off sides and try to steal a free first down, and that's what we were doing. We tried to pop a run on that 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, just to steal a first down, which we did a couple times today on 3rd down, and that's the
problem.
Defense honest with
It's
some
very telling, that quote. We tried to steal a first down by tricking them by running.
4th and 1, 4th and
You don't
2.
have any
And
ability to run,
field
so we
position
would
wasn't
trick
good,
them to
and then
run.
also that wind
And
at
that's
that
a
point in
problem.
time was
You see
kinda
what I'm
hitting in
saying?
our face.
When you
So
listen to
it
these
just,
things,
that
that's
one
why
hurt a
my
little bit.
dad's here, because he's a
Stacey
fucking
Dale.
coach. Jones. Bone Jones.
Coach,
Fuck out of here.
you appear to be very emotional. None of us can understand what it's like to be in your position. What kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
We had a great
through
week
this
of practice,
process
I'll tell you, Stacy.
To give us a perspective of how difficult this is in a pandemic against a really good team.
Oh my
when you're,
God.
fighting for
Are
your life.
you fucking trying to?
Yeah, I would say
this is like
the frustration comes just because I want it so bad for.
He's never
these guys. I
fucking
want it for the
once,
city. I want
Xavier,
it for our
blamed
organization.
himself.
And I care a lot about all of that I just said, and so it's emotional at the end of a game when you fight like this and you're playing against a good football team and a Hall of Fame quarterback and they're a good football team. So to lose like that on a last-second field goal in overtime, there's positives that you take out of it, but again, it's always better to coach off the wins than it is the losses. When we reflect at where we're at right now, I know no one's happy and we're not happy. But what we got to do is fortunately for us, any way you look at it,
Stacey Dale gave him a parachute.
These 5 games early on,
Really
and
tough
so
to prepare
now
in
we gotta
COVID.
figure out, okay, are we gonna start going against each other? Or are we
Everybody's
gonna
in the
stick
same
together
boat.
and fight through this thing?
Exactly.
And,
We're all in the
I
same
know what
boat.
we'll do. It's just it takes time, and then anytime you lose 2 games in a row, that part hurts too. We don't want that. We don't like that, but we got to rely on the leaders right now in times like this. This is time,
I said
in
that
my
you
opinion,
should have
when
a
the
Ariel,
leaders of
go
your team,
fuck
they step
yourself.
up
How
and they
about
say,
that?
all right, enough's enough.
Go
It's good.
away.
And
Go
that's
watch
where
You know
we're at
why
right
I
now.
said that about having an offensive coordinator?
Pat Finley.
Here's a coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Matt, you guys have leaned on your defense all year.
He's going to win with
when
that
it gets
team.
to
He's
overtime
probably
and
going to
they
win the
allow
division.
2 fairly
I'm
substantial
going to tell you
drives.
right now. He's
What
not
do you
calling
make of their
plays.
performance?
He got somebody calling plays.
And the ability to get home or the inability
he's
to get
got
home
that
at
fist
degrees
on the
when rushing
program.
the passer.
Yeah, there's a
If
few plays here or
nobody
there that I
moves
know that
without
they'll want
him.
back, but we
He's a
feed off of
coach.
our
That's
defense.
what
That's
that's
just,
all
let's
about.
face the facts. That's who we are. That's who
You know,
this
it's
team
just
is.
like me. I had
we
Steve call
we
some
feed
plays
off of
every
how
once
our
in a while,
defense
and
does,
I said,
and
let me tell you something, Steve.
I'll never question or get
On the
on those
critical
guys in
situations, you better
regards to
turn to
what
look
I
at
think
me
they're doing
because
or
I'm
not doing.
calling
I'm
that
proud
one.
of them. I think they play
You
hard.
know, you got.
And again,
You
they're
can
going
always
against
put
a
your
really
hand
good
on
offense
things, but
today
you
and a great
just
quarterback.
can't
So
let
I'm
somebody
going to rely on them, continue to
with the
keep listening to what
situation
their
with the
suggestions are,
NFL. They
where
got
they're
so
at.
much
They're going
to
to keep
think about,
fighting.
especially
Chuck and the
teams coming
coaches are
in
going
and
to do the
out.
same thing.
Hold
And
on.
then unit collectively,
Save the good
all three
points
phases
till this guy
can
finishes.
only follow, and just, but I'm proud of them. And I know they're going to want to always play better, but we got to just keep plugging along.
Couple more for Coach. Jason Leisure.
Matt, offensively, I look at this and it seems like one of your better games. It seems like progress possibly. Is your frustration the fact that you see those flashes and there's a disparity between what the offense could be and what it consistently is?
Who is
Yeah,
this?
I think you're
asking
right.
that question?
That's what it is. And it's hard. It's
These
hard
guys
for
are
me,
so afraid
to
of
try
the
to figure
Bears
that thing
media.
out. It's hard because
The
we're all
Bears
trying.
staff, Shane.
And we talked
Seemed
about
like you
just
really
cutting it
were
loose and just
improving there.
having fun and not playing tight and doing that. And there was a lot of times in that game I felt where we were doing that. And again, I'm just going to continue to go back. I'm really, really bothered by that third quarter incident. That bothers me.
You should have been paying
I'm being
attention
completely
to it.
honest with you guys. It bothers me. And so,
worry about how you have an opportunity to win the game.
But I am proud of the guys that played
That's
hard.
what
I'm
you-
proud of the guys that
That's
were
what you worry
selfless.
about.
And
And you
tried
put
to do
that on
everything they
yourself
could to help
because you
us
could
win.
have done something about it.
Adam Hogue.
And Matt, understanding that you had a few guys out on the offensive line, how do you,
Like that
I guess,
quote,
judge
Eric.
what Nick is doing? Sometimes it just seemed like he was retreating a lot, moving backwards a lot, sometimes throwing as he's moving backwards. How do you judge how much the offensive line is causing that versus situations where maybe he can step up and handle it better? And in general,
Well
how did you
said,
feel
Alex.
like Bulls played today?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the Claudio's connection fell out in perfect form because it just died off. And that's the reality. Guys, if you want to fucking listen to the coach, you can go listen to the coach at chicagobears.com. Thank them for allowing us to see. We comment here on the truth and we keep it 100. What we see versus what you see is going to be on here. But if you're going to take little shit shots and try to talk shit, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call the coach out. I'm going to call the questioning, the softness, all of that bullshit political crap is what you're seeing in regards to this
And that
football
one
team.
where
He's back.
let's face
Claudio's
it, he
bringing
made
him back.
an unbelievable throw on that deep post to Mooney and followed it right back up with
the 2-point
throw
conversion. Yep.
and a trust to A-Rob, and A-Rob made a spectacular catch. That felt good for us. We needed that. And that's what you want to kind of feed off of and like, okay, now we can get going. Now we can play ball. That's us. That's who we know we can be, all of us together. And so is it going to be perfect? No, guys. I mean, look at the Saints. I mean, you look at what they did offensively, and there's times where they weren't perfect and things weren't great. But they won the game and they did enough when they had
grade
to. So
school?
we got guys that they want it.
God.
When you want it, you just keep plugging away. And I know it
He's
feels
Wow.
hard, but
he's
trust me,
worried
we
about
want it
Black Lives Matter
for everybody.
That's
We
what
want
it
it
is.
for you guys. We want
This
it for
guy-
us. We want to win.
Locker room.
We wanna
This
win.
guy
We wanna win.
don't even go
We're not gonna
anywhere
stop
near
until we
that.
keep getting better
The
at fixing
reality
everything.
of what he just said.
Last one for Coach Dan
It's
Wiederer.
like, wow.
Matt, how significant was the wind on the field today? And then late in the first half, you guys had a chance to go up 17-3 and stalled outside the red zone. Anything
We need
about
a
the end of that series
buzzer
that
when he
sticks
says
out to
something.
you when you think about it now?
I gotta, the win number one was at times it was kind of swirling. At one point in time, I thought it was going left to right, and then literally 30 seconds later, I said to the coaches, I think it's now going right to left. So it was kind of back and forth, but I didn't think it affected the throws as much as I thought maybe going into today that it would. And then that series there, like you said, to be able to go up 17-3 instead 13-3. Again, we feel like, in the red zone, that's where we have players that can be, good threats and put it together. And so, yeah, that one there. And then again, at the end of the half, knowing that we're getting the ball to start the third, and we gave up that touchdown there to make it. We were doing a great job on
these
D the
questions,
whole time,
man.
and then they just
Put your visor on and walk out.
Touchdown at the end. I thought that was kind of big too.
Jesus Christ!
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Unbelievable. It is crazy to see this coach. I mean, when you return a question with an answer, well, they mess up on the other side. We can't be perfect, just like they're not perfect. I've never seen any coach in my history of watching, coaching, doing anything with football pull that out of their pocket as a defense to their snafus, if we want to use that word. Are you fucking kidding me that came out of his mouth? You said it. This guy's not a leader. He's in over his head. He can't learn on the job while being the play caller as well.
He sounds like he's afraid
for the head coach.
Afraid of the players, offending them. I mean, you got to put things in perspective. These guys are earning a lot of money, and boy, they better be accountable. They can't be doing stuff like that.
Phil, we talk about accountability. Jimmy Graham sent out a tweet. Ryan Cox just sent this to me, so I'm going to pop it up on the screen and let you guys respond to it. I wasn't good enough. I let my team and my city and myself down. I own it. I will be better.
That right there.
That's what you want to see, at least.
That's what you want to see. That's
right.
That's stand up. That's winners. That's a winning. You listen. How do we learn as human beings, as students, as athletes, as whatever? We make mistakes. There's no doubt. Like Wims, hopefully he learns from this, but there has to be accountability. Just like you see Jimmy Graham. I'm calling him out. I've been the big Jimmy Graham supporter. What he showed out there today was bullshit. You cannot. It was awful. Blocking, catching. Obviously, I'll break it down with the tape. Never lies.
Try to get open.
He run through the route. Troy was right. Run through the fucking route. That's also the coach. Not one fucking deep ball through the seam. You're not using these tight ends to run right through the seams. They're not attacking down the field. Everything's turn, hitch, turn, hitch. Now run the flag. Let's run the inside out. Let's run leverage. Let's go empty set after we just ran 8 yards. These things continue to happen. It's unfortunate. And this guy is not a leader. You saw what happened. There's no way. I mean, there's so many things to talk about with this game, but there's no way you as a head coach could be stuck in your playbook and not see your wide receiver, because the play's already been called. They're lining up, and he goes out there and punches someone, sucker shots, and a big brawl goes on. You didn't see it? That's a lie. That's a freaking lie.
Oh, he's seen it. PR is going to be right that he's seen that play multiple times at this point. There's no way that he's got to redo it.
He's seen it.
The same people that told him that it didn't look good are the same ones that showed him what it looked like. Yeah, exactly.
It's sad. It's
anyway,
sad.
I don't want to persecute the guy. I'm just here to observe and see what I would do as a coach and how much different it is than I am.
First up.
Here we go. Let's hear Nick.
Hey, Nick, the drives at the end of regulation and in overtime, they were both kind of laborious, but in regulation, you got the job done. In overtime, you did not. What was the difference? Was there anything defensively they did? And also on that third down play in overtime on the sack before the punt, was there anything you could have done, in maneuvering the pocket that turns that into a big play, or was that just going to be a sack?
I think the big thing is just we were able to execute at the end of regulation and give ourselves the opportunity to push the game into overtime. Our special teams did a great job. Coward did a great job. And then the third down you're specifically talking about, I was moving around, moving in the pocket, looking downfield because there's, I don't know the exact distance off the top of my head, but it was a little longer. So you're trying to look for a big play right then and there. Nothing there. So just try to be smart at that point. And not throw the ball in harm's way for field position purpose, and just get down. But my eyes were looking, trying to find someone open downfield. They did a nice job covering that.
Thank you.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Nick, in talking to Matt, he seemed understandably bothered by some of the pre-snap confusion and some of those issues. It looked like your helmet went out at some point. But he also mentioned how you're looking at the wristband. I don't know if he meant that as like maybe the issue shouldn't be happening, but I guess why do you feel like those issues are still popping up, and what can be done to fix them?
Yeah, I mean, it's just we just have to communicate better, and that's something that we'll have to talk about as we go forward. That's something that we as, players and coaches will get together and figure out where the issues are lying, because I don't have an answer for you. I know that each game we've had a couple instances that haven't, the communication hasn't been well, so we have to figure out what's going on.
JJ.
Nick, I'm just curious, where do you feel like your grasp of this offense is right now? Just now 5 starts in, and your handle on just the responsibilities that you have inside it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a good grasp on what we're doing right now. The big thing is we just have to continue to work and build on the positives for tonight. And then where we maybe have mistakes as an offense, just working on cleaning those things up. And that's the process we talk about, because there were good things out there. We were able to improve in different areas, get some explosive plays and whatnot. So those are the things we have to focus on as an offense and continue to move forward.
Jason?
Nick, with explosive plays, the 80-yard drive you guys had was probably the best you guys have looked. Why hasn't that kind of stuff happened more in the offense?
That, you know what, that's something that we're working towards. If I had that answer, it probably wouldn't be happening, right? So I think it's just, rhythm, tempo, all the little things in football that we're figuring out. There's a lot of new moving pieces here, whether it be coaches and players, that we're working to bond together and figure out this as a unit. And, the thing on the sideline was there was never a lack of belief in the game. The sidelines were positive. There was always belief. We were always in it. We were continuing to play, and we just played until that clock hit 0. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out, with a victory for us. But there were positives out there from a growth standpoint from this offense, and that's really what we got to focus on.
Dan Wiederer.
Nick, you had those back-to-back deep shots. What did you see on the long ball to Mooney down the middle, and then also on the touchdown ball to A-Rob?
Yeah, I mean, they had a safety cut, a deep cross, and I was able to get a ball down the middle to Mooney, and then they went man coverage, and A-Rob, we were able to connect on great route and just try to put the ball back there and let him make the play. So that was nice getting going right there.
Kevin Fishbane.
Same shit. No more excuses, please.
The interception in the third quarter, I imagine that was just kind of a flurry of events following Javon's ejection. What went wrong on the pick, and then how did you as a quarterback try to put into perspective just that sequence that went on for you guys?
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy that went on right there that I have no clue what happened, but specifically on the pick, I gotta get a better ball to Jimmy. I was trying to flick it out there, and that's on me. I got to get him a better ball so he can make a play.
Joe Lewis.
Yeah, hey, Nick, how would you rate the job Sam Mustipher did in replacing Cody Whitehair this week?
Yeah, obviously, Cody's working hard to get healthy, but, we're so excited to get him back. But, Sam really did a great job stepping up. He's a really great young player, really smart, great mentality. I thought he did a really nice job tonight.
Brad Biggs.
I like Gina tonight. She's been.
Hey, Nick, did Javon Wims address the team afterward? And if so, what did he say to you guys?
You know what? I don't have a comment on that question. Just being honest.
How is that honest?
Nick. Jason.
You don't have a comment. Why not? It was a stupid thing.
So, Nick, big picture here. Do you look at today as step forward, step backward for the offense? What was this?
You know what? It's a step along this journey. That's an NFL season. It's obviously you want to win, but we didn't win today. So I look at it as it's another step along this journey. building this team and building this culture of what we want to be, coaches and players. It's sometimes it's tough, and this is a tough one to lose. But at the end of the day, I believe the people in this organization are going to approach this the right way, in a positive way, and move forward. Because there were good things tonight, and we were very close. Yes, we lost, and that is unfortunate. But I think the only way to be in this situation is positive and learn and be there and believe. Because when you do those things, amazing things happen. And you look back at moments like this where we lost some tough ones, you say, what?
Imagine if Javon actually tweeted something like Jimmy did. Imagine.
That's how I'm looking at it, is believing that we're building something. We've done some good things this year.
We
haven't made it easy for ourselves.
This kid is a classy
I do
kid.
believe this
He
is a really great
is.
locker room and a
He's
special
a
locker
classy
room.
kid. He's being loyal to his
We're
head
bonding
coach. He's
and we're
being loyal
going,
to
and
his
you can do something with
fellow
that. So I'm
players.
excited what the future holds for this team.
And he's doing exactly what he
Dan?
needs to do. And
Nick,
it's not
late in
his
the
fault.
first
I mean, let me tell you something.
Hold on.
And stalled out a little bit in the red zone. Do you remember the final parts of that sequence and how frustrating was it to not be able to punch that in at the end of the half there to really put your grasp on the game?
So you're sorry, it sort of blanked out for a little bit. You're talking about the end of the half, putting it in.
Yeah, you guys had the chance to go up 17-3. We're down there in the red zone and then kind of just stalled out there. Just wondered your thoughts on that sequence.
Yeah. Anytime you're in the red zone, we gotta do a better job of coming away with touchdowns. So that's something that we need to look at, as an offense and figure out, in those situations, you go up 17-3, that's tough, but 13-3, I mean, that's only 10 points. So, but that's a great question, coming away with a touchdown, that and getting the ball coming into the second half, that's a huge scenario, and that can really help put a team away. So I think in moments like that, we really got to be able to execute in the red zone. Red zone football is really important, and we got to get better at it.
Last one, Adam Hogue.
Here we go. Last
Hey,
question.
Nick, my fault. I should have asked a more direct question earlier, but did your headset go out at one point? Is that what led to some of those issues? And
Everybody
you
knows
had
that
the
it did.
wristband. How does that help? Why do you use it?
Why
I guess,
this
what's its
question?
purpose?
Yeah, my headset did go out randomly, so I had to actually switch my helmet at one point, but I wasn't getting calls for a couple plays, so I was having to run over the sideline just to hear
That's what we want.
Play
You
was.
run them.
We were able to put it together.
I'd rather him
Wristbands
call the
basically
plays.
for unique plays that maybe there's different tags that
Just don't get why that
little stories
needed.
of themselves.
Everybody fucking
where it's
knew
just easier
that
to
his
have it on the
headset went
wristband
out.
to make sure
Even
that,
fucking Joe Buck
I
knew.
like it because it allows me more time at the line of scrimmage to see things instead of waiting. So there's a purpose for it. I believe in the wristband.
I get you have an
I've
opinion
done
of
it
him.
for a lot of my career. And the communication thing, great teams communicate well, and that's something that we're working towards. Once again, there's a lot of new pieces here that we're in the fire right now. We're going through it, and we're going to keep getting better. We're going to continue to lean on each other and believe in one another. That is what we're going to do.
All right.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. The reality is, I don't care how classy he is. At some point, someone's got to stand at the podium and take some ownership. The drop balls, Nick's in there taking shots, but at the end of the day, execution isn't there. The run game, when to run, when to pass, is still confused. There's no identity to this offense. The head coach is showing you that he is not the head coach. And really, ultimately, your defense is keeping you in the ball games. If Roquan Smith catches that ball, he takes it to the house, everybody's talking a different story. But the reality is, on this show, on this network, we'd still be hammering away at this fucking coach and the players and the laziness and the reality of it. Now, there's things that happened in this game. Massey goes down. He gets hurt. You see the other kid come in there. Yeah, he made some errors. He gets beat badly by a lot of people get beat badly by that pass rusher. No excuse, but he really played to the whistle and with an aggressiveness, number 78.
That's the big thing right there, Phil. And you and I were exchanging some texts in game. The aggressiveness was the difference for me.
Exactly.
Completely. And that's like we've talked about that being a mentality on the offensive line. The Bears need more of that. I'll take some plays where you're rusty and maybe you're not playing up to your ability because you're going to get better. You're going to get lathered up a little bit. get in there, get involved, and improve from that. If you're not an aggressive guy on the offensive line, you're going to be the two offensive tackles that we've trotted out there year after year after year in Leno and Massey. They're not aggressive guys at all. And when you're struggling, you need guys in there making a play like Spriggs played and throwing people down. But Phil, we got to talk about Rashad Coward here at
oh my God,
left guard. I mean, he's making $835,000. I was just looked up. You got to bring in somebody or something.
Get a veteran guard that knows. I mean, that first sack is it's a middle school stunt, and you're just.
I was going to say that simple stunt.
It's the simplest thing to pick up.
He didn't know what to do.
And that's coaching. And that is gone over and over and over. It just is a reflection of the GM. And this is a huge game. The Packers lose. You have an opportunity to take the lead in the division and set yourself up with your team and your culture by getting players in there. Instead, you got a second-year guy that's fucking been on the practice squad at center. You got a former defensive lineman that should be playing tackle that you have him playing guard. And they're confused with Whitehair was in there. Now it's going to get better? And it didn't. Now, in first watch, honestly, the tape is going to tell me. I'll put every fucking play up this week in the Patreon and show you every offensive line. If you haven't subscribed to the Tape Never Lies Patreon channel, www.thetapeneverlies, put that banner up.com. Get over there. Go get your subscription. We will be breaking down this offensive line like nobody else. Nowhere to hide. No, let's see what's going on and what Nick Foles had to deal with. Now, what Nick did on that interception afterwards, I don't know what he's doing there, throwing that. I blame the coach on the 4th and 5 play, Shane, where he's backpedaling. He just throws it up down the field. You almost wanted them to intercept that because it would have been like a punt.
Right.
But the reality is the play call on that, it's like you need 5. Run fucking slants. Let's go.
Phil, they started the game with a slant, and what did we say? We've been waiting for it. And when did we see it again? I think we're still waiting.
Listen, it's hard. There's so many pieces in a football game that could turn the momentum. And, despite it all, you're in it and putting it into overtime. Let's talk about a positive here. The kicker, Cairo Santos, I think he has taken that baton and said, I'm your fucking kicker. Yep. I'm your guy. Those are critical kicks.
There wasn't a Bears fan around that was expecting. Yeah, when they hit that timeout, Phil, I said the same. I was talking to you and Ryan Cox and everybody in the group text. I said I would have laid $5K down in Vegas for him to miss that kick. And that was the best $5K I ever lost in my life when he put it through the uprights. I was waiting for him to miss it, but Santos has improved. I mean, his leg strength has improved. At one point, he was 6 of 16 from 40 plus at one point, and now he's kicking them from 55. With these, that was what 51 today with the wind in his face.
The wind in his face.
Yeah.
He buried it twice. I mean, seriously. Let's go back to the coach, though. Go ahead, Coach.
I just wanted to say that I said the line did a lousy job, but I purposely put this down. The TD to number 12, and that was in the first half.
Yeah.
He had great protection.
Mm-hmm.
And 72, I watched him, and he blocked his man. I said, son of a gun. He did it. There's no reason why he can't do it all the time. That's
exactly. Well, that's the thing we've always said.
Something. I just want to share this with you. I watch a lot of college football. So yesterday, I'm a Michigan guy. I like Michigan. And Michigan got beat by Michigan State. You know why? Because Michigan State was there to beat them. They were tough mothers yesterday. I mean, they hammered you. If Michigan had the same mentality in that game, it'd have been a different game. They got beat by Rutgers the week before. That has a psychological effect on people. And you know something? Every team needs to be talked to before they play. And not just talking about your assignments, but what's inside of you and how to play this game. You can't play this game without a psychological advantage. You got to be, and I don't think I see that in the Bears. I really don't see that. Offensive linemen can be great. You just get them to work on the simple things. You know that, like that X stunt that they both failed? You got to do that every day. You got to make sure they understand all the things that could happen to them. That's your individual time. That's got to happen. That should never happen. And you know something? Here's the other thing. I learned this from my guru, right? George DeLeon.
Right.
When you start offensive practice, start on the goal line. Don't start in the middle of the field. Get your plays in. Start
Let me tell you, that ain't happening in Chicago. He's on the freaking 30-yard line, and he's throwing
triple
option.
You guys know what it is. And you remember, Phil, I put 11, 12, 14 guys on defense on the goal line, you know, to make 1 yard, just to prove to the kids that they could do that.
Exactly.
And did we do it? Yes, we did.
And
so there's a lot of mentality to it. You know, it's like anything else. But a coach can have that inspiration, not just your assistants, but the head coach.
You're right.
It's got to come from his heart.
Well, here's the question. Here's the
O's.
question from the chat room to you. If you're the GM of this team, the Chicago Bears, would you fire this coach? Is he your coach?
I'm getting my battery's going weak already.
Don't worry. We're gonna let you go after this, coach, because we got.
Repeat the question.
If you were the GM of the Chicago Bears, would you fire this coach and get somebody else in here?
I don't think so. I think he's got a contract. I think when you fire people in the middle of the season, it's not a good thing. He's got 4 wins under their belt. They were just
5 wins. 5 wins.
5 wins.
Yeah.
At 5 wins, this could have been 6. Is that what you're saying? No.
6. They could have been 6-2 today.
Okay. So I don't think you can fire him. I really don't. You got to sit down and talk to him and say, you know, this is a lot of pressure on me too. You know that? You got to be honest with people. You got to be upfront.
What would you did you tell him? Listen, you got to get rid of the play calling, and you got to give that to your offensive coordinator. And I need you to focus on the team because clearly they're out of control. You can't let the prisoners run the asylum.
I think that's a good idea. I think every coach needs to have an assistant that's doing it. You have a clear mind so you see the game and you can really interject things. But when you're calling plays, you can't do that. You got to get it in fast. You're looking at your sheet. You don't even know how the guys are feeling. They don't know. You don't know if they're tired. You don't know anything about it because you're looking at that play sheet. And I think that's where you need to get somebody else to call it because you have to feel the team. I mean, if you're the head coach of this football team, obviously you were interviewed a number of times. You get it. Somebody recommends you, but you got to make sure that's the guy. So you made a decision. You think this is the right guy. Well, let him be the right guy without this play calling. I agree with you, Phil.
All right.
At that level.
Jane has another question.
Yeah, did it stick out to you guys at all after the Wims punch and he got ejected? You saw the offense huddle up on the sideline, and it was with Bill Lazor.
That's my next point.
It wasn't the head coach.
Was it Lazor or was it DiFilippo?
No, it was Lazor.
Was it Lazor?
Yeah,
it looked like the note.
I'm pretty positive it was Lazor.
Guess who's addressing the team after that? It was the quarterback coach or the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
that was my note right here.
You wrote a note.
And I said to myself, this guy has no pulse. Somebody in the chat. He has no pulse on this team.
Well, I hope
because you know what? I turn to my whole team and tell them to get the fuck on the bench and sit down. I call a timeout there on that 4th down play against the Saints, and I get my defense ready and prepared that we could win the game here if we stop these motherfuckers. But they don't. He doesn't think in the terms that he's the head coach. His mentality was, I'm the play caller. I'm missing everything. Where's my Greek diner menu? Hold on. Here it is. Hold on. We're gonna run the wing tee. What are we doing? We're first and goal. We're running Montgomery out and Jimmy Graham, who's granted he had a shitty game. He took ownership, but he's a great red zone weapon. That's his best attribute, right?
Well,
we take him out and we put in Anthony Miller. We put in Cordarrelle Patterson, and we run a fucking fake toss jet sweep reverse to Anthony Miller. That's a wasted down. That's a down where you're not attacking that end zone. That's points in a game that came into overtime. Those points, instead of kicking or field goal, you're winning the game. That's what this is. That's what's coaching. That's those missed opportunities. And really, Coach, before we let you go, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Do you have a final thought?
Final thought?
Yeah, final
Well,
thought.
my final thought is this.
Go
They're
ahead.
still
I'm
in
going
the-
to
they're still
isolate
in-
them. Go ahead.
They're still in the thick of this. That's why you can't fire the guy, because you could still win the division. You really can. You got the Packers. You have to play them twice, or have you played them once already?
No, it's still
We
happened
haven't
twice.
played them yet.
Okay, so you got to play them twice. So you got to figure you got a good enough team. Your quarterback's good. You have some good receivers. You really have to work on that offensive line, though. See, that the offensive quarterback has got to sit in the pocket and not be afraid of getting hit like that. He's got to set up quick passes, quick throws, no indecision, get it out of his hand. And then he can play action pass and have the longer throw. But he's got a 5-step drop. He got to release the ball. And those guys have got to be excellent at running patterns.
Yes.
And that's they got to work intensely on that. So the guy's thrown to a spot and he knows the guy can grab it. I think they could.
Final thought. I loved it. I really appreciate you jumping on with us tonight. You're gonna be doing a lot of stuff with me on the Patreon side. We're gonna be breaking down the video and looking at these things, whether it be defensive back, whether it be offensive line, defensive line, linebackers. Going to take 4 plays critical in every game and go over it with me and you and get that over there. So that'll be coming this week, or we start it next week. I don't know if I could stomach this. It's been so hard cutting all this tape. I don't know how many plays. Can we get a number from the chat? How many offensive plays were run today? I need that number.
I don't know, but you know one thing that stuck out with me? Alvin Kamara has 55 receptions on the season already. 55.
And they couldn't figure out. I said this at halftime. They got nobody at receiver. They got nobody. They got a tight end in 87. I'm talking about the Saints. That he's a good football player. And you go and you take your fucking best defensive back and you put him on 41 and you say, I'm with you all motherfucking day, bro. I am going to, if it's Eddie Jackson, if it's Kyle Fuller, that's what you do. And unfortunately, Pagano, he didn't do that. He's going in zone on 4th and fucking 11. We're in zone giving a fucking curl route wide open. No, blitz this guy. Tighten up. Oh, number 10 couldn't beat you on the worst day, but he did today, getting that first down and moving the chain. That gets you to the toss play, which sets up the field goal, and you lose because of coaching and personnel matchups. Anyway, Dad, I love you. Appreciate you coming on. We got to move on with the show.
Shane, nice to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, thanks for coming on with us, Coach. I love it.
Say hello to my neighbor over there, too.
Claudio.
Absolutely.
He can hear you.
Okay, Claudio.
All right.
Your family.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
69 plays today. 69. Thank you, Octane. Holy shit. Thank you. 69 plays. That's an omen for the fucking Bears. Holy cow. It really is tough. It's tough to swallow. Listen, I challenge everybody. If you take offense to it, there's plenty of other shows you can go to watch. People get offended by that. Shane and I I keep it 100. That's what we do here. That's why this network stands up for the tape. We're not going to go on a PFF score. I said I would address this. Let me address PFF real quick, Shane, before we go to our first segment. This is how PFF grades. They hire all these kids out of college and they test them on their football acumen. If they don't know enough, they teach them, and they give 22 people, 22 kids per game. They hire and pay all these kids, and they say, this is your assignment. You are going to track number, we'll say Rashad Coward, 69 is your assignment. So that person is getting paid to watch the game and track number 69. Another person's getting paid to watch the game and track the formations. Another person's tracking stats like how many third downs do they have? How many of this do they? That's what they're doing. They don't know assignments. They don't know football. Did 69 win here? Did he step with the right foot, or did he gets a negative grade? He gets a positive grade. And that's why I get so fired up with these blog boys writing narratives about players based on their fucking PFF score. PFF doesn't watch the tape. I'll bring any of them on. Anybody. I'll bring any of you and anybody on. We'll talk in reality. But that's why I get so focused. Don't fall for that bullshit narrative. Thank you, Dom Cagney. It's foolishness. I addressed it. I will bring anybody on. I'm talking, Shane. Are you okay with that on our network?
You know me, man.
I'm bringing you back over here. Let's get you back in. I addressed it. I will bring any of these.
It's one thing we've always done here, Phil. We started when we started doing this 5-6 years ago. We tackled everything that was uncomfortable right from Jump Street.
Exactly.
We've dealt with people when we were at a former network. We dealt with things up front. We moved here. We dealt with things up front
every time,
face to face. That's the way that we do it. Doesn't we've had people come to us since we went to Patreon and think that we're gonna. I'm not saying that we're not gonna treat you guys well. We obviously, and we're super grateful, but we've had people come to Phil and I that want their feet kissed because of that situation, and think that we're gonna not be who we are because of that, and that's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen.
We've addressed the same thing on here. If you don't like what we do, then there's lots of other places for you guys to follow.
Guys,
it's that simple.
Really that simple. I've never ever begged for a follow or a like. I will confront hate and trolls and bullshit, even if they're doing it on somebody that I feel like doesn't deserve it. I can't help myself. I have to stand up for the truth. Of course we make mistakes. Of course we've done stupid shit. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm telling you the fucking truth. I've owned everything right in the fucking face of the mirror and on the show live. I've never hidden from it. I put my name and attach it to everything. I bring my father on here with these motherfucking trolls that don't know football and taking shots at that. I will confront a racist piece of shit. I got no fucking time for racist bullshit on any level. I don't, and I confront it. I stand for one fucking truth. That's mine. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch the coaches' pressers with us. Go watch it on thebears.com. You won't get my comment. But the reality is, my rant is mine. I don't have any fucking... Did I write it, Shane? It goes off the top of my head. I don't even know what the fuck I'm going to say beforehand. Just, it goes. How I would address my team. How would I address and coach this? If you want real Bears talk, thank you, Word Truth. You come here. You want real analysis? You come here. You want real questions and real hard answers about this fucking great game? You come here. And there's no doubt how much we love this fucking team. Nothing. And if you want to come on, you have the opportunity to come on. Reach out to Claudio. We're going to go to that right now. Our next segment, every week, except last week, we bring on, because we had Sandlin, and he didn't say shit. He's got to step up more next time he comes on the show. He's going to blame me because I didn't stop talking. But that's part of the show. You got to get your fucking face in there, like Roquan Smith, who, by the way, balled out.
Gotta get that pick though, Bo.
Oh my god!
That's why they drafted him in the top 10. And I know.
Yeah. Oh my own.
The Eddie Jackson one was. I think that was a little harder.
Oh yeah.
The Eddie Jackson one, but I thought Roquan. I thought he was gonna walk it off there. I did. I saw him break on that. I'm like, yes, here we go.
Oh,
and that would have.
He was a fucking beast down there. That's the kind of guy I want representing my team.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of guys you want. You know, they're going to take Mac away. I counted it. There's 3 plays that I counted. I was showing Claudio: tight end, back, and tackle. Tight end, back, and tackle. They're taking him away. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to win. And Breeze, to his credit, first of all, that Buster screen play, I just want to get that off my. That was come on.
Yeah.
That's a ref looking for something. And fucking Breeze is thrown in the fucking dirt. That should never have been called. We would never get that call. They did get the fucking Komet fumble correct. I thought we were going to get fucking hosed there. I'll give them credit. They fucking huddled up and they made the right, because he stopped this forward motion. And to our producer's credit, I got so fired. I go, the fucking game's over, because I thought the refs were going to fuck us. Claudio's like, they stopped this forward motion.
But even on that, Phil, I go back to
Mitch. We're gonna talk Mitch.
Even on that play to Komet, I just go back to the play call in general.
Yes.
That right there is not Komet's game.
Oh my God.
That's not his game.
Get him down the
exactly.
Why is this so fucking hard? You're at the 30-yard line.
We saw one play to the tight end down the seam today, and it was there was DPI on it in the end zone.
Yes.
You finally saw it.
This should be happening. Listen, here's when I do my hands like this. We got to get there's got to be some way I could draw on this screen. That would be so dope. But you go 2 tight ends, right?
Yeah.
And you run one through the post on the front side, and he's going to the post. It looks like the backside to those of you at home, but to me, this is my right side. And then the backside tight end comes up the seam and carries to the fade. So he's going to stay in the seam right on the hash, and he's running through the seam. Now the front tight end's doing that skinny post, so it's going in unison. Now these receivers outside can either go fades, they can go slants, and what that does is presses those safeties the fuck out of there and makes linebackers have to be good defenders of the ball in the air. And that's really where they struggle. So that's where, and it doesn't ever happen. Just get under center, action, 2 tight ends. You're not afraid to go gun, Shane. He's going gun.
Right.
Like everybody and their fucking brothers, cousins knew first and goal at the 1. We're going fucking shotgun run. I'm going, this motherfucker can't get out of his own way. Just dive.
Well, Phil, let's add our guest here, because we
got to start it like this. Yeah. Every week, you want to come on this show, we bring 2 people on. Shane gets worried. We're going right now. This is how we do it.
It's 100 Crew Hot Takes. Phil and Shane bringing on a fan to talk Bears and what just happened in the Bears game each and every week. You have to have hype.
Phil's always telling me to hype.
You can't be flat. So be ready, be prepared, and bring your passion.
I had hype coming out of my ass.
It's 100 Crew Hot Takes. Hashtag Spencer Strong.
Those are big time fucking throws.
Oh yeah, they're big time throws here on BHL. Bears Hour Live. Who's this guy? Johnny Necrone.
Well, fellas, you got it right, Necrone.
What's up? There you go. Necrone. I gave you an A. Like, hey.
Yeah.
Claudio's mad at me. All right.
Patreon,
you say you're fired up.
Listen, it's crazy, man. My blood pressure, I can't, like, the close games are one thing, but this tonight, ridiculous. My best assumption of all this is you can sum Nagy out by that whole first quarter. So I saw what you put on Facebook, and I was screaming the same thing. Early fourth quarter, 4th down, why don't you punt? Pin them down to 1 yard line. Let the defense do what they do. Probably get a short field again. Instead, this idiot goes for it. I don't get it. Then when we're down there again, we're down there again. First and goal, what's he do? He takes out 32 and 80. And I know Jimmy's had some drops, whatever, but in the red zone, he is a playmaker. Montgomery, it's what he does. So takes them off the field. First play, he runs that stupid jet sweep, loss of 3 yards. Next play, called in late. We just had that conversation with Greasy and Foles last week. And the very next play, we get a flag, which lucky. And then he runs another handoff for -2 yards. There's no play action. He's got the worst personnel. And my biggest thing is with this line, where is Quentin Spain? Why is he a Bengal and not a Chicago Bear? I don't get it, man.
It's a great question. Let's start with the one at the top. I was right there as a coach. I'm punting. I'm getting them down inside, making it harder. You've been backed up all game. You've given this guy short field after short. They're getting the ball at the 35, 40, 47, 44, 53. Then you're 30. You gave him the ball to 30, and you're in this game. Here, huge coaching moment, 4th and 5. You're going to go for it. And you see, they almost picked it and helped us out with a punt. But the reality was he should have fucking punted the ball. And if you're going to throw, you're throwing slants, something inside here to help your football team move the chains. I'm right there, John. Those are the things that the media should be asking. Why not punt there? That is instead we're talking about let me be more clear. Was the earpiece not working? Was COVID tough on you in this game? I mean, oh my fucking!
You know what the worst part is?
Jason Leisure waited all fucking game to talk about the fucking run play to Mitch. Like who cares?
One play.
Who cares?
They want to make him into Taysom Hill. They want Mitch to be our Taysom Hill, and it's not the same thing. You can't do that.
Taysom Hill is a fucking broken nose Italian fuck that's going in there, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna run this fucking, and he fucking puts his face in there and gets it. That's what he is. Mitch.
Well, the problem with us is when we're going for it on those important, whatever it is, 3rd and short, 4th and short, we don't have a bread and butter play. Every team in the NFL should have 1 or 2 plays that work. 98% of the time, we don't have that.
We got no identity. If you can't do anything, that's what I said, John. I mean, it's like you have nothing that you have to go to. Maybe this dash pass with Allen Robinson that they ran on 4th down, that might be their go-to play.
And even that was but me too, Phil. I was doing the same thing.
The short side, they're going to the fucking short. But then Allen
Riley was sitting next to me on that play, and my exact words to him were, Phil's getting ready to kill somebody right now. When I saw him rolling out to the short side,
I go, oh my fucking God, the shorts. Tate and Devin got scared. Claudio's like, they still got it. They got it. I'm like, oh my. And then you saw the replay and you just see the absolute description of how to run that fucking route. I mean, Allen Robinson running that route. But again, there's no identity. There's no run game.
It's terrible.
I really think if you can get yourself to the point where you're finding the run game, that's the penicillin to this whole thing. But this guy, Ryan Cox.
So listen, here's my thing with him. What's going to be super indicative about Nagy is how he handles this Wims situation. How he gets in front of it. How is he suspended for how? It's huge. This is going to tell us everything.
It's got to be addressed. The fact that he lied. The fact that he fucking took that fucking Greek diner out and said I didn't even see it, John.
And there's no room for error either. He has to get it right the first time.
Holy fuck. This is a huge point in this show, on this network. I don't give a fuck about another. They'll fucking patty cake over there anywhere else. But this network, I'm telling you right now, I'll fucking go live right on the air. If this shit is handled, you have my word. As long as at work, I will go live on the air and address the Matt Nagy handling of Javon Wims. It's totally so imperative to the culture that is supposedly so good in this locker room. I don't see it. The only
silver lining to that horrible situation and that horrible decision that Javon made was that we're probably going to get to see Ridley on the field. 88 is the least going to dress. He's going to be there, and hopefully he gets a chance that all the fans want, and that's him on the field making plays.
Well, we've been saying it for a long time. The kid deserves a shot. I mean, still, even today, Anthony Miller statistically had one of his better games, but he's still dropping footballs.
And he's still running backwards.
Right.
He still runs backwards. I can't stand that. He thinks it's backyard and one football, and he's going to go do 3 spins in a juke and 30 yards in a cloud dust. It doesn't work that way, man. Get to the sticks, get the ball, and go forward.
I don't get the I'm going back to the point because one of our patrons, I don't know his exact number, he sent me a DM, and Shane, and he said, the thing that's I struggle with, and this guy's a professor, he's like, there's no opportunity for players on offense to formulate a rhythm and be comfortable, or the offense, because you're continuously shuffling skilled players in and out, and that's totally what I feel. It becomes like a potluck. I said at the top of the show, it's like let's guess what might work. No, I'm telling you right now, I swear on my fucking son's lives, it's so important to a skill player. I was a running back in high school, played receiver in college, was around the game my whole life. I know Wayne Corbett needed, if he dropped the ball, he needed to get the ball. He's not getting pulled out. If he caught a big play, you don't take him out. Now he's in the zone. That's what this coach does to Montgomery. He hits a big run on the dive play. He's out the next play. That can't.
Did you see how excited he was on that big rip he ran off? He was a kid at Christmas with that big run.
Yeah, and it was a well-designed play because you used your right personnel and the motion to simulate something going that way. It's almost like a counter play. And then, like we said, Spriggs gave his heart and soul to the play. You sold it down and you fucking drove it down and you were aggressive. That's all we want out of 72. My father said it tonight. Honestly, there was 3 plays that I saw Leno be Leno. But it really is, let's see what I got to see the tape, but it's all about being aggressive at this point. If you know your assignments, if you coach them up and do it, like he said, 100 times, and that's where the CBA or the COVID or whatever excuse, there isn't an excuse. You're the head coach. These plays you're calling, you're putting them on islands. You need to go over it and over it and over it until they fucking get it right in their sleep. There's no rhythm out there. None.
Shout out to Claudio when Massey got hurt. Claudio texted and said, "Why couldn't that be Leno?"
Oh, jeez.
We got Spriggs, but on the opposite side.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
We gotta have some humor on this show, right?
Gotta have it. It was a tough loss. I really appreciate you. You got a final thought? Is there anybody else, Claudio? I could see you. So anybody else? Listen, you want to get on and come on the show. Some of you have had issues with what we're saying. So if you want to come on, we'll bring you on to debate these issues right in front of everyone. Anybody could be a keyboard tough guy. You want to get on the show and talk the truth? That's where we'll bring you on. We'll bring you on.
Can I get one final thought in, Phil?
Absolutely. I'm keeping
My final
you on.
thought is if Nagy doesn't do something different, whether that's relinquish the play calls, galvanize, he's going to lose this locker room quick. Because just like how Steve Edwards was saying back then, their locker room didn't really divide, but when the defense was carrying that offense, they were doing the sideways looks like, hey, guys, let's go. Pretty soon, this defense, there's too many alphas on that defense. They're going to start looking across that room, and that locker room will divide, and that'll be the worst thing for us.
Look at this little pussy right here, Ariel Cologne. I've seen you all night running your mouth like you're somebody. Come on the show. Get the DM for DeVry. Does DeVry even have a school, or are they online? That's pretty creative. I've heard it many times. It's clowns like that. I'm not afraid to put your comment up there. I don't hide from anyone. I thought Mustafa, to be perfectly honest, I see Qua Illuminati. I thought on first glance, the kid did the aggressiveness.
He was hustling today.
Played with hustle. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in charge. That center, get everybody huddled. Just get people going and be in the right place. Get the right protections call. Call out the mic. Help. I just see that. I get excited about it. Yeah, I can't wait to get to tape to see him. It's just going to be offensive line for me because really the reality of this game obviously is won and lost on the line. So the reality is that's where you get the best out of a football player is when you give them an opportunity and they take that baton and they really go after it. And I thought on first glance, obviously, without looking at the tape, Mustafa really performed well. And that was exciting. There was a play in there. I know they fucking had it. They had it set up right. They had it right. And Ifedi knew it. He was trying to pull and he trips. And you see, he can't get outside. So they ran the toss and no one was out there to kick out or they had a big play. I'll put that up. I could see Ifedi on the ground punching his fist. So it mattered to him. That checks a box for me and say, wow, I can't wait to see that play and how it was set up because I know if Ifedi got out there, they had the numbers. And that's what it's about especially when you're trying to run outside. You know, you got to get those numbers so you can get an advantage. And really, ultimately, the offensive line had their moments. Even Spriggs, he came in here, you know, right off the bench. He gets hurt. He comes back in. That's a warrior to me. Somebody else is going to call him a bum or whatever because he whiffed on that pass protection set. And he did. He looked like shit on that play. And really, ultimately, to come back in the game, I thought that was really impressive at the end, you know? So this offensive line, Shane, they're going to have to do something because is there an update on Massey's injury? Anything on Twitter?
I haven't seen anything on that, but that's, you know, Phil, I think that's something that's important to talk about because we've seen the issues on this offensive line, and for whatever reason, Juan Castillo and Matt Nagy are not comfortable making the changes. Well, the changes have been made because of injury. So, to me, Phil, we've talked about this. I'm rolling with the young guys. Get these guys out there if they're hungry. What do you have to lose? I mean, what's your quarterback going to get sacked? You know, is the offense going to look inept? No, it's going to look the same that it's looked.
I'd rather win with people trying.
You're damn right. You're damn right. And I said, was Jason Spriggs perfect today? No, I'm not saying that. But he played with more aggressiveness than I've seen Bobby Massey play with. I'm just being totally
out there. Did the running game look different? A little better this week?
21 for 89 for David Montgomery. I mean, those 89 yards were hard fucking yards. Well, obviously, most of them on the one run, but it's
man. When are we gonna get him help, man? When is Lamar Miller coming up? Because they don't give Null a shot.
You can't forget with Miller. He tore his ACL, so there could be more to that. I mean, you can't bring him up if he's not 100% confident in the knee, or if I think that they're trying to stash him. Let's be honest. New England had him and moved on from him for a reason. I'm not saying that he's not a quality back.
Well, they also have like 5 running backs, but I get what you're saying.
I just think that he's most likely not ready. Yeah. The thing that I'm more concerned with, even more so than that, is the trade deadline is on Tuesday.
Well, that's what I wanted to answer. We saw a couple questions. Angel Bernard.
You can't sit. Listen, just like your dad said, you can sit here and complain about Nagy, complain about Pace, Foles, Trubisky, the offensive line. You're still in the thick of this right now. You have to make
the Alex Mack rumors. Has anybody heard anything?
Well, that's
we don't do next week's. You got an opportunity to come on. Forget this clown. He's a troll. Those are trolls. Next week is like, I'll let me eat now. I'll pay you later. Those guys never show up. They never do. Coach, I'll run those sprints tomorrow. The kid fucking quits. Come on. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, Ariel. Get to stepping. That's what I got to say. You had an opportunity. Fuck out of here. Let's go. We move on. Brian Pace, do you think he's being told that he can't make any moves? Do you Angel Bernard asking a question there? What do you think, Shane?
Well, if he's been told that, then he's on a very short leash. But Phil, everything that you and I have heard, everything that Bears media has heard, is that he is 100% not on a short leash. And I don't know how you can even if you want to put the bullseye right on his forehead, and it should be there, why you would want to hamstring?
Jesus Christ, God.
Huh?
No, sorry.
Why you would want to hamstring your guy when you're in, 5-3 in the thick of it? You saw Green Bay go out and get beat by Minnesota today. You're right there. Go out and put some fucking life. Go out and call New England for their guard, their franchise player.
Would you be willing to trade Mitch Trubisky? Is one of the questions in the chat.
We'll never get a return for him.
New England for an offensive lineman.
For who? But I mean, listen.
We should have signed Spain. We shouldn't have let him.
Well,
and,
this
and
is
who knows, they might have called him, but
this is John. It's a great point, and this I fall into that same trap. He's a free agent. It doesn't mean that he might see this and be like, I'm not coming into that fucking mess.
That's true. But
These
the fact
guys
there was no chatter. That's what I'm wondering. Why no chatter?
But that the Bears operate that way.
He's got it. Pace has to do something.
They do have to do something.
On the offensive line.
If you come here on Tuesday and Ryan Pace has made no moves, I mean, I've heard some scuttle about a guard from Houston, their backup offensive guard. That's not going to do anything to you. Yeah, it's going to give you depth there. It's not going to. You have to listen. You have your first rounder this year. You can move around with that if you need to recoup some picks. It's the second round pick I'm looking at where you can make some noise with right now. With a team like you gotta do something. You can't sit down. 5-3 is 5-3. Is it a great 5-3? No, it's not. It's not. Tennessee coming up. Listen, the Bears could have won today. They could have been 6-2. Like I said, it's not perfect. You have to make a fucking move to inject some life into this offense. You're not going to trade Mitch Trubisky and get anything for him. He's a free agent. Nobody's going to give up anything of value for him. Nothing. It is what it is. Even if
Mitch is not coming back. Are we agreed on that?
Our best shot for a trade was Dallas if they panic, and they didn't panic. But that was, in my opinion, the best chance of maybe a third, maybe. But nobody's going to give us anything of value for him now.
Yeah,
because, like you said,
even then, I mean, Dallas.
We'll sign him cheap next year.
Yeah, why are you giving up anything?
That's right.
Of substance right now? Exactly. This is why, to me, I'm looking at New England and I'm blanking on the offensive lineman's name. Thuney is the guy. He's a free agent after the year. Yeah. The Bears need to dump money into this offensive line, and I'm making a move there. New England, if Thuney walks as a free agent, they're gonna get a 3 as a comp pick, so you can up that for them. If you offer them your 2 for Thuney, but it's again, then you're not getting your offensive tackle.
Patriots love Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah,
I have.
I just don't think. I think Mitch would be a throw-in on that deal, Phil.
Oh yeah, I think you.
I don't think he's going to move the meter and say.
It would lessen the capital of. It would take a third to make it a fourth or a fifth.
Yeah,
if you're sending Mitch.
The other team that I'm talking to Jacksonville about Cam Robinson.
Oh yeah,
the offensive tackle. Those are
I would put him right out there and get Leno the fuck out of there.
Those are two moves that I would be willing to invest in. You bring me a guard out, and if I would fucking double down if I could. You have to be This is one thing we have not seen with Ryan Pace. Yeah, Alex Mack. I think you can probably get him for a 5.
I would do that.
Absolutely. Because he's 35 years. He's 35 years
older, but he is in complete control of the offensive line. He's solid. He's a communicator. You could move Whitehair to left guard now. Now you're fixed 2 problems with 1 signing. You're getting a left guard problem out of there, and your center, and really ultimately, if Whitehair comes back, you keep Mustafa in there.
Yeah, no. You
know what I'm saying?
Totally agree, Phil.
That's
I
for the
will go
Olin
live
conversation.
again
Save
on
that
the
for
air.
Olin.
That is exactly. You're doing my job for me. Look at you. Listen, this week, every week, we go live every Wednesday night. It's the best show out there. It's called Keeping It 100. Every week we go live, usually Wednesday nights. Last week we went Thursday night. This week on Bears Hour Live, on Keeping It 100, we have our guy, the Hall of Famer, in our opinion, Olin Kreutz, will be keeping it 100 with us this week. Keeping it 100. Yep, Shy City Sports presents, and that'll be live this Wednesday. Olin Kreutz, and we're going to talk about the center position, the offensive line, and the troubles that we see there. And really, like John said, should Mustafa stay inside, play the center, build this kid up, and move your left guard, Whitehair, back to left guard, as Shane said, to a position that he's openly said that he prefers. To me, it's a layup at this point. And this is what we talked about with those PFF blog boys that are saying, well, who do you have? Who do you have? Who do you have? Well, you found out you got a Mustafa. You got a center right there that can play. Now, I'm going to fucking watch the tape. Maybe I have to retract that when Olin comes on. But on first glance, you got to believe that you got to be excited about. Listen, John, you had your time. You came on. You brought
Appreciate
the hype.
it, guys. Always good to talk to you.
What number are you on the Patreon?
237.
Are you happy with everything you're getting on the Patreon?
Of course, man. That you know that. We talk off of this. You guys are the best. The best.
Listen, I need you to do a commercial for us right now. I'm going to put you on the spot.
We got to ask him, John, are you willing to dance?
No, I was about to cut you off and say, Shane, I'm not dancing.
I got to try, man.
Yeah, I know. I can't blame you for that.
Give me 10 seconds of why someone should sign up to become a patron.
Listen, the reason you sign on as a patron is because you will not get any more better Bears analysis, real talk by real fans. They have nothing to gain by giving you their opinions. They give it to you the way they see it, with knowledge of the game, with knowledge of the franchise, and everything that goes with it. Everything that Shane and Phil says, it's the way to go. Be a Patreon. Trust me, it's worth it.
Look at you, giving us a shout out. I put you on the spot, and you fucking kicked in the door and delivered. I challenge people all the time. Ask Chris Sandlin. I don't know if he thinks I'm really mad at him or something, which I'm not. But I give people shit because I want to see the best in people. And right there, you did I brought out the best in you, but you really took the ball and fucking took it down the field. So,
Appreciate
John,
that.
thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
you
guys,
truly
anytime.
are a great dude. I know Claudio's a big fan of the Paisan. We'll add Claudio quick, right?
Cut it out.
That's all you get from it. He'll be on Wednesday night with the famous Cut It Out. Thank you, John, for coming on.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, John.
All right, brother. What a great dude. Great friend of the show at this point.
Absolutely.
He's already mad.
Saying the drop of the hammer.
He's always mad at me. I don't know why. But seriously, we got to talk about some defensive football too. Those of you that want to get on, we bring one other person on. Right now, Gina, I don't know where she went. She was a standout with her questions.
Yeah, Marcus Robinson was in there. Asking.
Marcus was getting fired up. Some other dude, Jones. I saw Jones saying some racist bullshit. Where's he at? Front that. Obviously, Ariel took his ball and went home. Anyone that wants to get
Marcus Robinson, yes. I asked you in the chat, but you didn't respond, or maybe I missed it. If you're on Twitter or on Facebook, send me a DM on there, and I will hook you up with a link to come on with us real quick.
There you go. Marcus Robinson, the former Bear, I would hope.
I would doubt it.
Hey, listen, former Bear Walt Harris followed me today. I got to try to get him on the show. What was his punchline? What was his punchline?
Who, Marcus?
I cover 73% of the world.
Oh,
with
Walt
water.
Harris? Yeah.
Yeah, what was that?
90% of the world is covered by water. The other 10%, Walt Harris.
There you go. Well, Keith, get a DM. Get yourself in there. Get it to Claudio or Shane, and we'll get you on. We'll get you on. So I want someone that's fired up like Keith is. I've seen a lot of people DM me all through the week. I want to get on. So this guy's texting me, let's go. I'll come in on Instagram, Jack. So you want to get Jack on here?
Add him on, yep.
All right, Jack. I got to figure out how do I send him the link through Instagram.
Well, you're going to hit... I can send you the...
Can you send me the link and then I'll copy, paste it, put it there. That's how we'll get him on. There you go. We're doing it live.
Or you can even do it yourself, which would be even easier. But yeah,
No,
I got
can't do it because...
Yeah, of course you can. You hit invite right at the bottom of the screen, dum-dum.
I know, but then I got to go figure it out. Just do it like that. Please. As long as you text me the link. Actually, I texted it to my father. I got it. Never mind.
That was my
totally
next...
forgot about it. I'm sorry. I'm texting it here. Make sure you have some headphones. You heard a little feedback because John had a Bluetooth headset.
He's a little animated and his mic was going off. He had like Claudio hands with his mic.
He's Italian. What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm Italian too. But I don't play any of these fucking pussy games that some of these trolls play. I don't have time for that. We're always here. Every person that I know that loves this network says the same thing. That you guys, I live for this team like you do. And nobody keeps it real like you do. And you confront it. Now we've had almost every media member that actually does their job really well. From Adam Hogue, Grody, JJ, Stankovitz. We've had David Kaplan on, all of them. We've had other podcasts, other shows to promote them that keep it real and speak the truth on your favorite football team. Sean and Maya in the morning. We want you, the fan that keeps it 100, that DM me, that love this team, that love this game, that see it, because I don't give a fuck if you don't have a blue check mark next to your fucking name. That shit don't mean shit to me. I've met some of the smartest, most intelligent people, professionals, lawyers, doctors, medical people, guys that invented shit that I can't even fucking pronounce.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh, you weren't talking. I thought that was Claudio's intro. I'm sorry.
Claudio invented the gentleman's cup, for God's sake. But in all seriousness, it doesn't matter where you're from. It's always about where you're at. And with this football team, we all live and die with it. Even the trolls, I'm sure, have something in their hard-earned. But our next guest, who's got hype, I'm just going to play 10 seconds of it because I want the guy. Where did Bill go, Claudio? Bill, the fucking checkpoint guy who had all the labels of where we were in shows. I like that guy. Bill, timestamp Bill.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I checked both the last Keeping 100s. He wasn't putting them up there, so I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, he's all right. I don't know.
Timestamp Bill.
If he's listening, yeah, Billy, if you're listening, man, we appreciate it. We want to,
I was going to hire this guy. Anyway.
All right.
It's 100 Crew Hot Takes. Phil and Shane bringing on a fan to talk Bears and what just happened in the Bears game each and every week.
The motherfucking...
You have to have hype.
Phil's always telling me to...
Here we go. Bring in the hype. Jack. I've heard from Jack how many times on Instagram wanting to come on and chop it up.
No doubt. Let's chop it up.
Look at him. He's coming in clear. His hair looks like you've been
pulling it out. You just got off a bike. You went for a bike ride. He's got the tousled hairdo.
Nah, that was from Nagy's play call, and I was pulling it out during the game. Oh, Jesus. Oh, but guys, first thing I'll say, you guys do an excellent job week in and week out. I've been following you guys for over a year now, and if you're not a Patreon member, go over and subscribe. These guys bring it every week. No
Thank
bullshit. You get it 100. They keep it 100 here, and they're not going to sugarcoat it like those guys at, in mainstream media. They're going to bring it to you. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to let you know what's going on, so we can find out how we fix our Bears team. So
I appreciate that, Jack.
Yeah, that's what I want to start off.
Do it
yeah.
with the tape, Jack. That's what I do every
Absolutely.
week. The tape never lies. I put it up for free on our channel that you might be watching right now, YouTube, Tape Never Lies Network. And I also do a very long, in-depth breakdown of the tape and coaching, instruction, and teaching. Those are important in this on the Patreon channel.
I'm surprised, you're not to cut you off, Phil, but I'm surprised, your eyes aren't bleeding from all that Charles Leno tape you gotta watch. He's putting you through. Jesus.
It's very hard. That's why I told Shane I'm going all in on fucking these dudes from whatever network. I don't know if Shane wants me to call people out, but in keeping it 100, Robert Schmitz got me fired the fuck out.
I've never stopped anybody from calling anybody out.
I got fired up today and I called it out. You can't manipulate, and the response from the fucking fans of the Tape Never Lie. They get it. You can't ever use a PFF grade.
Look at this.
Look at
Billy,
this.
get to work, Billy.
Listen.
But real quick, guys, what do you think about the defensive performance today? I mean, this is a team that we've heard that they're the best team in the league defensively because they don't give up points in the red zone. And then we also hear, guys can't make a tackle out there. Trevathan's looked a little slow, like he's lost a step. Or, we can't get to the quarterback and we got all these high-priced guys. So, I mean, what do you guys – I'll start with Shane. What do you take away from this game, just watching the defense, your thoughts?
My number one thing that I've taken away for a long time, and I think it is a direct reflection of what we're seeing on the other side of the ball, is that Chuck Pagano didn't come here to be passive and to play soft. He didn't. Mm-hmm. But that shows how little faith they have in the Matt Nagy run offense, in the quarterbacks, and in the offensive line to do their job. Their margin for error is so razor thin because of the offense. He doesn't want to just release everybody, because if they give up a big play over the top and it's a quick strike, then all the pressure is going to be back on the offense. Let's be honest, man. They can't fucking score. They can't score. So, but where you have to hold Chuck Pagano's feet to the fire is right before half. That shit just cannot fucking happen. It can't happen. You essentially
the game.
You saw a free fucking release. Oh my god! And a fucking 2 touchdowns. Let's be honest. Yeah. 2. You saw Drew Brees throw behind the dude, which never happens on a play like that. Very next fucking play, they do the same thing on the opposite side of the fucking field. Johnson's not even in the fucking frame of where the dude caught the ball.
He's walking.
He's got to be very specific of when he does blitz. But to me, you got to fucking crank it up more, because you have to create. Hey, if you get beat up top, you get beat up top. You're gonna have to fucking learn to live with that, because you also may pay for it. It may help out your offense because you're putting points on the fucking board. You can't sit back if you're gonna be passive all fucking game.
And I'm surprised too, because you guys aren't in Chicago. You guys are on the East Coast, but I mean, really cold day, windy day, and Drew Brees isn't a guy who throws it down the field, man. If you watch the first couple quarters of that game, he's throwing sideline to sideline. The game plan was get it to Kamara, let him make a play. And it just felt weird to me.
Get it to the one guy you have on offense.
Absolutely. And it seemed like, at least in the beginning quarters, the first, second quarters, guys were getting lost out there because they were playing zone. There wasn't a spy on Kamara at all. So, do you think that falls on the coaching staff? Do you think it falls on the players, maybe not being held accountable by the head coach or, Pagano either? Phil, what do you think, man?
Listen, I said it before. You have to be able to game plan take out their best weapon and be aggressive. In those situations, you put your best. Is it Kyle Fuller or is it Eddie Jackson? And you just isolate it on Kamara and you blitz the fuck out of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you tell him, we're going to go down fucking swinging. This is a close fucking game. You can't be sitting back, especially Shane, as you said, before the half.
No,
you
not
let
that.
up that fucking easy ass. That looked like a high school 7-on-7 drill with a defensive back didn't get the play.
Where it was doubly bad, Phil. You're giving up the fucking point. Listen,
did
you're
it
gonna
the
get
play before.
you're gonna give up the field goal. You're gonna give up the field goal.
Yeah.
You did the fucking worst thing, and then
lost the game there.
You had a chance to be up 13 to fucking 3.
Or 13-6.
Or 13-6 coming out of the half with the fucking ball. And I would love that.
That's why my hair looks like
that
it's
better be the first fucking question to Picano when they talk to him this week. Better be the first fucking one.
Yeah, it really needs to be.
I agree.
I honestly, I knew exactly how I would tack, especially when I heard that Thomas is out, because he changes the whole fucking complexity of what you got to do defensively. He's out. These other guys are just guys. Not saying they ain't good, not saying they can't be good, but they're just guys.
Yeah, I think he gave him too much of the
lock them
benefit of the
down.
doubt.
Oh my God. When
you
they
know, Jalen Johnson, Fuller, get
soft
off.
ass zone. Soft ass zone. Are you fucking kidding me? In critical plays, you want to see them attack and be ruthless? Fucking go after them. The blitz works. And when you got special blitzers like Roquan, it's not like you couldn't Buster Screen coming off the corner.
That could be one of the best parts of Roquan's game.
Absolutely.
He's slippery. He's explosive. He's not a guy that's out there that's 6'4", 6'5". And he's the guy that you have to deploy there.
Danny Trevathan, I
made
see
some
in the
two
chat.
biggest tackles of the
He
season.
made great. He played his best game by far for me.
I agree. Yeah.
He fucking hustled. He was involved. He was physical. He was clutch in the tackling. The two of them together, really, I think Roquan played the best in my first view out of everybody on defense.
100%.
And then Danny T was right there with him. And
you hear that, Claudia? Make sure Bear up this week.
oh, Bears. Claudia will try to steal both guys before we get to them. But I really thought Danny T.
What'd you guys think of the offense? I know your positions earlier in the week when you had Steve on about Trubisky Foles, but did anything kind of solidify your stance? Did anything, make you guys change the way you were thinking about it previous to this game? I mean, to me, look, Foles is going to make a couple more plays with his arm, in my opinion. He's shown us that, he's proved that, but the way this offensive line is performing, I mean, the guy's a statue in the pocket. And I mean, when plays break down, you need a guy to extend the plays. Now, I don't know if Mitch can hit his receivers, but I mean, in my logical thinking, I got to put a guy out there who can give you a chance at least. And today I felt Foles did play a better game, but there were far many times where he shouldn't have took a sack.
Yeah, well, Zach Miller was championing Mitch on Twitter from Shane's text that I got, wanting him to be put in there. And Troy Aikman I wasn't expecting Troy to be he was killing Foles there, calling for a change and what have you. There was a moment, being completely transparent, was you might have to fucking put the kid back in because of what you're talking about. The pressure and the ability to not be able to move and extend a play really was concerning to me. But I will say this about Foles. He fucking stayed in there. Listen, he did not play the kind of game that you want. But when the critical moments were made, he made the fucking play. He made the fucking play. And listen, as
and I know it's not
interception
it's not all on Mitch. It's not all on Foles.
It definitely is not exactly.
No, it's not. And this is the
one
thing.
other thing, real quick. Miller and Graham's drops.
Yep.
And that final possession there.
Are big.
It takes the whole complexity. That's a first down, and then there's more. Because of this offense, a lot of people say, well, you're nickel and diming them. You hear that term a lot, right? You're nickel and dime. Well, throwing the ball downfield was great, but Obviously, Nagy was trying to fucking do whatever to get a first down there. You cannot drop the fucking football. And to Jimmy Graham's credit, if you're just tuning in now, he took all of the ownership of it, unlike the fucking head coach. That was a great team over there. My boy Kai, he put up the comment. It was perfect earlier. I wanted to say it with Coach. Well, we're 5-3. That's nothing to be mad at. No, that's not a champion's mentality. You could be pissed off. You take ownership as a head coach and you move forward. The fucking lying, and that's a good team. Guess what, Coach? They're all fucking good teams. Every fucking team on the schedule.
Welcome to the NFL.
Is a good team. You're gonna fucking say that to the fan base like these shit little fucking troll ass bitches in the fucking chat. Say it to them, but really don't say it to the educated fan like Kevin here or Jack or Patrick O'Donnell or my boy Kai. Don't say it to Rami Mirza. Don't say it.
And if I hear him say one more time or another coach about a good week of practice, I'm about to fucking rip my ears off.
Well, I think one thing that's got to be talked about, and I know this is going to fire up everybody, but Mitch has the ability to make plays with his feet. But that, and I'm not putting all of that on Nagy. Yes, they wanted Mitch to develop as a passer and to stay in the pocket and make plays. But listen, he's an athletic guy, but when Mitch got hurt, things changed with Mitch upstairs. He was never the same runner after that. Yes, he would have a couple sporadic games where he'd pop off a couple big runs. But don't think just because there was a couple of lanes today that Mitch was going to bust all of these off. Because there's a mental disconnect. Phil, you and I just talked about this with Mitch, where I think he sees things sometimes and other times he's not processing as quick as he needs to.
Let me say this about a quarterback. Remember, accountability for a coach and holding people accountable. Did Foles do something that you felt like he should have been benched? I said there was a moment in there and I felt like maybe it was time. And the coach stuck with him, and that's fine. Okay? But Mitch is your backup now. And how he handles being humbled and benched is going to be his story. Just like we said, how does Coach Nagy handle the Javon Wims situation? He already placated, lied, and bullshitted his way through the presser right after the game that he didn't fucking see it. The whole fucking world saw it, except the fucking head coach. Do you know how fucking poor that is? Do you know a complete shit show? That's fucking Virginia and Ted going to the fucking prom together. That's how fucking dumb that shit is. It's ridiculous. But Ted Phillips still has his fucking job. What do I call him from fucking The Simpsons? What was his name again? I was trying to search for that. What's the fucking Millhouse?
Oh.
Ted Phillips is Millhouse.
That's right.
It's poor leadership. That's right. It's an elitist attitude. Like, I'm better than the fucking fans. I'm better than all of you. And it's wrong. It is wrong.
And I bet we still don't see Riley Ridley. How much you guys
If
want
we
to put down
don't
on
see
that?
Riley Ridley,
that's a
we're
problem.
going fucking live. When Shane sent me the fucking inactives, which he does every Sunday for the last fucking 20 years, is Izzy Adonijay on it? I just remember, he better not be on it. Is this person on it? Is my boy Demetrius Hurst on it? I remember. And here we are, Riley Ridley again. I will say this. Positive. Something positive here. So I'm not so fucking fired up. How about Harris coming in there and fucking showing you what a professional punt returner and a football player does in those situations?
4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 yards makes a huge difference on an offense.
Absolutely. As long as they're not losing yards, they're not supposed to be losing. You know,
there was a couple of them, man. I was like, ooh, that last one that he had, that made the old butthole pucker up a little bit.
He went up there and fucking he caught that ball.
But I mean, seriously, for watching the Bears offense, it's like they're pulling teeth. Everything's so hard. That shit matters. Shit matters.
Listen,
Every yard matters, man.
I tweeted out the Bears went downfield. You saw them be aggressive. Foles got some time. You saw the deep shot to Mooney. You saw the next one to A-Rob. Nagy's counter to that, the next series was they immediately come out. Cordero Patterson's in the backfield. And I'm like, it just...
Oh, my God. I wanted to fucking die.
So the worst part is I bet the three of us are going, here comes the sweep.
Well...
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's...
Predictable run plays, right?
It's hard, but then they attacked vertically, and then... It was just like a light bulb went off in Nagy's head, and he's like, I'm going to fucking go horizontal. They'll never see it coming. And that's exactly what they fucking did.
Yep.
And
I
granted,
totally
I understand
totally
the offensive line has to block it up. But, Phil, what did we see the other night on Keeping It 100? Coach Castillo comes in and into Lawrence Funk's office.
Yep. And he
cutting
goes,
his hair.
What do they say?
What do they do?
They're probably
boys lighting me up. They're lighting me up, huh?
Yeah. They know.
And then he says when he's leaving, tell Shane and Phil, I'm gonna get this fixed. This is on me because I want to be back here next year. This is on me.
And I know you guys saw
your starting left guard can't block doesn't know the concept of what to do with a fucking simple fucking twist, a fucking stunt.
Twist stunt. You teach that.
JV, Phil.
JV football.
Son's 9. He'd know that.
If he's leaving, you know someone's coming. If he's not, no one's coming, then you could turn. But you got to play the percentages there. It's unfortunate. That's simple offensive line rules. 101. Again, this week, we will have Olin Kreutz this Wednesday on Keeping It 100. This show right here.
He'll spit some fucking fire. You better buckle up for that.
He'll spit. He'll keep it 100.
You think we're not afraid to say shit? He's going to drop the fucking hammer on a bunch of these guys on offense. We know Olin.
You know what's amazing to me, though? When you guys saw Juan Castillo with Funk, it's amazing how he kind of said to Funk, are they lighting me up? And then Leno goes out in this presser, and he says straight to the media, I think I'm playing pretty good, that's no energy.
That is an organizational thing there, and that's what the Chicago Bears have done for years. They know that Charles is being lit up by fans and by the media, and that it's repeated. Everybody on Twitter, on Facebook, on our shows, everybody's lighting him up. So what does Chicago do?
Sure.
What do the Chicago Bears do? Charles, you get out there. We're gonna put you out there. This is our belief in you. This is gonna make you better because we're putting you in a presser. As a fucking head coach, Phil, if he was around, would you have put Javon Wims in the post game presser and said, "Take your fucking punches here. You deal with the bullshit."
Absolutely,
exactly.
Absolutely. I would have put him right on
You're
front.
Fucking right. He would have been out there right after.
Yeah, keep it at 100. I would. Javon, you want to play here? You need to go own this shit right now because
totally agree.
You embarrassed me. I had that talk with my 6-year-old twin boys. They go to school. They're fucking roughhousing. They don't listen. I'm saying it. Your mom works in that fucking school. You are a reflection of me and your mom. You don't do that in front of us. And if you do, you're the first one to take ownership and apologize. That's what should have happened. Jimmy Graham did it as a true professional. I'm going to be a professional here and say this show, like Keeping It 100, goes onto podcast. And you could find the podcast version of this show, just like every Wednesday's Keeping It 100, on all of these places.
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with
There you go. Bears Hour Live right here, right now. If you're not a Patreon member, you need to go over there, Sign up right below. Look at Claudio. He's on the ball. www.thetapeneverlies.com. If you love the video breakdowns that I put out each and every week, try to get them out on Wednesday. Obviously, this week it probably will. You'll see it on the YouTube channel, The Tape Never Lies. That'll come out Wednesday afternoon for the free version, which is condensed. I think it was 17 or 18 minutes on the YouTube. It was 41 minutes on the Patreon side, really going in depth on defense, offense, and special teams. That's if you love this kind of stuff and you really want to talk football, that's what you want. That's what you want to be a part of, as well as live shows, coaches clinics, and Q&As. If you're embarrassed to be out here in front of the world, put your name to it like Jack is doing. If you're not ready for that, then you could sign up for Patreon. We are going to do live Q&As, discussions, back and forth, and bringing you guys on. Actually, Patreon people will be brought on, keeping it 100 for the entire show. We're just going to bring on as many of you that would like to be a part of that with the segments and everything like that. So that's the business side of it. Jack, you were great. I know the other patronages appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
0.0.
That's what's going on over there. I know Ariel's got his own network that he's starting up. We'll have to follow him and see where he goes in the chat. So your final thought, Jack. That's messed up shit. But I'll do it like this. I don't give a fuck. It's Bears Hour Live.
Hardest thing Jack said all show.
You did that to him.
That was great.
We can't do a dance. I think we have to change the dance to the victory dance, Shane. If
Yeah,
we
we can do
win,
that.
then you dance, because who fuck wants to dance after they saw that? The only one dancing
wins.
Javon exactly.
Jesus.
The only one dancing. I still can't fathom people defending what he did out there on the football field. I
No place for it.
I just don't get it, man. I really don't. And I don't tolerate the racist shit that you're saying in the chat in regards to Javon, because that's not what this is fucking about. What he did was wrong. And the reality of how that represents and reflects to the head coach is in question. And we're going to watch tomorrow, because coach didn't see it. I didn't see it, Shane. I still can't believe that. I mean, that's like Bill Clinton-less, you know. I didn't fucking inhale. She didn't swallow. What else is going on? It's like, I can't. So anyway, you said it all, Jack. Your final thought. I really, before you give us your final thought, want to thank you for coming on. I know you've been wanting to come
Totally
on.
worth it, guys.
Worth it?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, if you haven't subscribed to Patreon, if you want everything, you know, Chicago Bears, this is the place to do it, guys. I mean, they're keeping it 100. This is the place to go. And, you know, you guys work so hard, and it shows in the production and, you know, the time you guys put in, both of you, Phil, Shane, Claudia, your team. And it's only going to go forward from here. But final thought, man, we got a lot of work to do if we're going to win this game against Tennessee. And it starts with holding players accountable. And we say it week in and week out. But, you know, we'll see, especially from a communication standpoint, you know, where you're not getting in plays and you're using timeouts. You know, this has been going on for over a year now. This shit needs to be cleaned up. You know, you signed Matt Nagy to be an offensive genius, and this shit's going on in year 3. Unacceptable. I don't care who the quarterback is, who the offensive line is. You know, you can't be wasting, you know, plays away and opportunities to win the game.
Great stuff. Great final thoughts. I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate Keith saying that and giving us some feedback and letting fans know about the Patreon side. I mean, I know for $7 a month, which is like $1 something a show.
This
Plus-
man has to watch tape on Charles Leno every week. We should be giving him more than $7 a
No,
week. Come on, guys.
I give you
reach deep.
Yeah, I give
But
you try
guys,
to give you
thanks
2
again.
jobs. You were great,
Thanks again
man.
for having me on, and I look
Thanks,
forward
John.
to Wednesday.
All right,
We'll be
brother.
there.
All right,
We'll
guys.
be there Wednesday night, 8:30 East, 7:30 Central. Yes, we are from the East Coast. Doesn't matter where you're from. It's about where you're at. That's how I've always. That's the famous Eric B. and Rakim line. Rakim saying it ain't where you're from. It's where you're at. I've always believed that. Where are you going? We've started at the bottom with this network, and we're rising to the top. Keep on rising to the top. Mama Man said, give it all you. Number 6, my man. Where was he? Patreon number 6. Toby Hill. I love you, bro. You guys, you Patreon people are so right here in my heart. I really, truly appreciate the feedback.
So many people ask this to Phil and I. So you live in Chicago? No,
we don't. We never.
Phil's
I
from
visit.
Connecticut. I'm from New York. We're not.
Surprised people recognize it from my accent and yours all the time that we're not. But we keep it 100 no matter where we're from. Doesn't matter where you're from. Kofi Omegs, he's number 111. That's an angel number, Shane.
Yeah.
My wife would say that. 111. That's a special number. 111. You got Chris Jackal, Mr. 300. Mr. 300. Jeff Roth, 317. Look at this. The numbers are coming in. But Connecticut's not where I want to stay, to be perfectly honest. I love the city of Chicago. So does Claudio. And hopefully I'll be going out there once this COVID is lifted. We'll get it together. We'll get it popping, as you say. Real quick, as we wind down this show, today to me was an emotional roller coaster because I just felt, going into the game, I didn't see the Bears winning. I'll keep it 100. I had the Saints beating the Bears 24-10. That's where I felt like the Bears offensive line was really going to get handled and they were going to take advantage of that. But to the Bears' credit, they went out there and showed some heart and desire to get things right. They were throwing the ball. They were doing the things that we've been asking them to do. And my final thoughts are this, if you can continue to build off the run game, then you're going to get to the place that you want to get. Unfortunately, when a coach throws when he should be running and runs when he should be throwing and uses the improper personnel and didn't see a fight break out on the football field, that's like a teacher allowing someone to get beat up in their classroom and not hold them accountable to the bullying or the bullshit that goes on. There's no place for that at all. So to be a head coach of the Chicago Bears and come out there with that kind of attitude, that self-defense, that elitist bullshit, talk down to the fans and the people and lying, I have no time for that. I've lost complete respect and belief in this head coach. Today, they had an opportunity to win. And when it mattered most, certain players didn't step up. I think those drops by Jimmy Graham and Anthony Miller are huge in this game.
Real quick, Phil, Leon Moses, you're number 348. I just looked that up for you, bud.
There you go. 348. 348. But really, ultimately, Coach Nagy and this football team, whether it be Mitch moving forward or Nick Foles, I will say this. Mitch has got to be ready.
Yeah.
Mitch,
you got to prepare every week. Like you're the starter.
So ready that he is humbled and he is going to go out there and prove something. So it could happen at any given moment. You saw it right there. Spriggs comes in, Spriggs is down. The next guy's up. They finally are going to move Coward to the position he should be playing, tackle. It's like, I don't know. I think Coach Juan Castillo, I have to believe my uncle when he says somebody's a good coach. But I don't know who's calling the personnel. Because to me, real quick, if I was starting this game, obviously, if we're going to keep Leno in the game, I would have benched him and yada, yada, yada. So we're going to go with that. Leno would be the left tackle. Bars would be your left guard. Mustafa at center. Got Fetty in at right guard. And then obviously Massey or Spriggs. If it was me, though, deciding who was going to play, I would put Spriggs at left tackle, Coward at right tackle, and then Whitehair, blah, 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 at center. If there's no Whitehair, Mustafa's at center, and then Bars is at left guard, and Ifedi's at right guard. That's how I would go out there and get the aggressive, try hard, get it out of them. Because what you've been getting on the offensive line is mistakes and lack of effort. And that's really forced this hand. Now, last point, I'm going to say this to finalize and then I'll shut up and you can say your final point, Shane. What happened with Javon Wims, I'm just going to say this again. As a football coach myself, that shit has no place in the game. It has no place on your football team on a professional level. Now, I saw some comments in here. Yeah, he did it. He should have pulled his helmet off his shoulder. No, this isn't a boxing match. This isn't street wars. This isn't gang fights. This isn't proven shit. What you're proving to me is you're an immature, selfish person. That you put I'm going to stick up for my boy in front of I'm going to play hard for my team. And that right there is the difference between be you and be together. And until this coach understands that you have to hold everybody accountable, not just the guy that's fighting, not just the guy that's playing this shit. The be you philosophy is done. That was fun for a t-shirt. This year and last year, it should have been about let's be us. Who are we? And until you figure out that, Coach Nagy, who you are, this team is going to be at the cusp of winning and never be in the championship. And those are my final thoughts, Shane.
Yeah, real quick, Carden reached out. Carden Qualls was on there. You are number 197.
197. Look at that. 197. Chris Zorich in there.
There you go. But that's a perfect place to wrap it up, Phil. We're 2 hours plus here.
2 hours plus.
Bears drop 26-23 overtime. Clunker to the Saints. They had their chances. I mean, they really could have put their foot on the throat of the Saints up 13-3. And when they got there, they got a little bit of momentum built up, but you knew the fucking car filled with clowns was barreling down the road, and you knew that it was going to be Chicago Bears football coming again. And this team can't handle success for whatever reason. They can be gifted things, and it's going to be followed up almost immediately with inept coaching, with inept play, with boneheaded decisions on the field like you saw with Javon Wims. So, but hey, you deal with this until midnight tonight. Hopefully these coaches get after these guys tomorrow on tape. Hopefully we see some roster reshuffling moving forward, because the NFL, it doesn't wait for long for anybody. You got a tough road game. We were supposed to be in Nashville this week. Phil and I were supposed to be on vacation with our wives, with a bunch of friends that we don't get to see too much, living it up in Nashville for this game. But the Bears, hey, listen, Titans got beat. Bears can go into Nashville and they can steal one, but you have to be prepared. It's offense, defense, special teams.
This is the
coach. It is. You're gonna
said it before, but this is really
you're gonna dictate if you have a tiny chance or if you have no chance. And I mean, if it's gonna be a full implosion, and we're gonna be here for it, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right after the game.
Tape Never Lies Network. Yeah, like Phil said, join us Wednesday night. Olin Kreutz, future Chicago Bears Hall of Famer, is going to be on with us. And if you think that we're spitting fire, you wait until you hear what this guy's got to say about the offense, about Coach Nagy, about the quarterback position, and most importantly, about this offensive line.
Cars is off suspension. He'll be back on Wednesday night. He's even going to He will deliver a personal message, an apology. That's his only way he's coming back. Anyway, real quick, Shane, breaking news. Our buddy, Greg Braggs, is going to be at the game.
Yeah.
And he has agreed to come on the show live from the game afterwards for a couple. So there you go. Greg, our buddy.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. But anyway, now I wanted to break that news and let fans, if you haven't seen Greg's show, go check that out over there. Greg, what is it? Braggs in the Stands, our boy. So hopefully.
Yeah, he started the show about fans in the stands during a global pandemic. So that was hell of a call by our friend Glenn there.
If you want to come on the show like Jack and John came and brought it tonight, I got to give those two a shout out. Came and brought it. Thank you guys so much. We needed the therapy, Ken, as well. We appreciate you guys. Have a blessed night and always bear down.
Thank you for watching Bears Hour Live, the best post-Bears game show on the planet, on the Tape Never Lies Network.